guys, and welcome back to the channel. I can see you now. This is the start of a huge new project, which is my winter project really, but I expect I'll get it done before spring. It's a aerobatic glider. It's the Let-Off 107, LF107 Lunak, and the glider was actually test flown in 1949, having been designed by some really clever engineers of the time, Czechoslovakian. It's a mid-wing, standard tail, mid-wing, aerobatic, high-performance soarer as well as aerobatic glider. So I first saw the model and fell in love with it watching Essential RC's channel. Dom filmed one at a show, and I thought, that is the glider I want. Not only has it got performance, it does aerobatics too. So yeah, really quite excited. So bought the plan, and I've got it in front of me here. It's big, it's on 2 sheets. I think it's about 3.5 meters, something like that. Anyway, it's 1/5 scale, and she's going to be beautiful. I'm going to change the construction a bit as I go. It's mostly covered in 0.4 mil ply. Overkill, don't need that sort of construction. So I'm going to be changing that a little bit. The fuselage sides are built in what I love doing, half a fuselage flat, and then you build the other half flat and join them together. I'm even going to change the way I do that a little bit, but more of that as we get to it. As a start, I've cut out some formers already. Let me bend you down. This is a bit I've cut off, which is just details the plan view of the fuselage and the formers. Now the formers are in 2 halves, but I've already cut those out. I cut those out some time ago actually, when I had a between projects. Yeah, put them in that box for safekeeping. There's the formers. They were suggesting the formers, so I've changed some things. The formers I think were 1/8 balsa, skinned each side with 1/32 ply, 0.4 ply. We're talking about, this is quite an old plan now, so we're talking about a time before laser cutters really, and light ply. So I've cut all my formers out of light ply, which are probably lighter and stronger. Well, they certainly won't be any less strong than the original ones shown. So I've cut them all out. I redrew them all. It took me forever to draw these, 2 or 3 days I think. However, they're all cut out. Let's pick one. J, former J. Come out wherever you are. Where are you? H, I, J. There's a J. Okay, so that will go on there like that. So the very first thing I have to do is to cut out a crutch, which is 3 mil by 6 mil balsa. So it runs from there to there, and it's notched there by the look of it. Or possibly not. No, it's not notched. That just goes over the top. And then there's another crutch runs along the bottom to all the way to the front. Bit of a curve on this bit. I might have to steam it or something to get it around. So once I've got the crutch pinned down, I've got to put clear film over it, of course, stop it sticking. Once I've got the crutch pinned down, I can glue on the formers. And instantly you've got a 3-dimensional shape taking shape. Another thing this plan shows you is, I can't show you because I haven't pinned it to the wall yet, but they show you the servos in the fuselage for the ailerons and the flaps. Actually, I don't think there are flaps. Probably is anyway. I can't remember, so long ago. So yeah, the servos in the fuselage with connecting wires going to bell cranks and what have you. That's how old the plan is. Obviously I'll be putting servos in the wings, and yeah, I don't think it, oh, it's got air brakes, what I'm talking about. Yeah, so it's got air brakes. Again, the servo was operated from the fuselage out to the air brakes. I should be putting servos in the wings for the air brakes. It does have flaps. The original aeroplane had flaps, but this model doesn't. And to be honest, it's a complication I don't need. Air brakes are really effective, so that's what I should be using. I took the plans down to the club meeting when I got them, probably 3 months ago. July, was it? Yeah, probably 3 months. And we talked about the construction and how I was going to change it. And I got some really good ideas from the lads, so I'll incorporate those as we go. That is the benefit of belonging to a club, you see. You can actually pour over the plans and get everybody's input, which is great. Anyway, let me bend you down again. So I've got a crutch, probably. You probably can't see that. Let me just come down a bit. I've got one up to there. And along the bottom there, 3mm by 6mm, so that's 1/8 balsa all the way to the end. I'll probably have to do a scarf joint somewhere because of the length of it, which is fine. I should be putting the scarf joints opposite each other when I come to do them. And then I can just drop the formers in. This is, yeah, former J still. J. Worth mentioning, a guy called Mick Moore designed this one, so all credit to him. Once these are in on the crutches, I'll just put them in with something like that to get them upright. And then I put a 4mm square from front to back. That'll stop them all from falling over. There's diagonals to go in under the skin. That will make it incredibly strong. Diagonals, that would be fun. I shall enjoy making those because each end has to be shaped to fit. Basically a flat bottom wing up to here, and then it goes up rather nicely. We'll talk about the wing when I come to start it. The canopy, it says modified commercial canopy, so yeah, I'll just have to look out for going to a swap meet tomorrow actually, so I'll look out for canopy. You never know your luck. Front bit will probably be just cut out of a flat sheet and then I can join them. Wheel is active but fixed, so I've got a wheel. Hardwood skid is showing on the bottom. That's interesting. Yeah, normally you have a little bit of a rubber tube between to take a little bit of bounce out, but this is fixed directly to the bottom of the fuselage. I might modify that. Really excited to get going on this. A lot of the hard work has been done. This is just the introduction, guys, to the plan. I suppose, yeah, I'll cut the crutch pieces out and get them pinned down and we'll start gluing on the formers, and then that'll wrap this video up. Okay, back in a minute. I've got the plastic down and I've just stripped up a bit of 1/8 balsa to 6mm width, and I've pinned the first part of the crutch down. I haven't cut it to length, there's no need to. I just cut them over length, and once you've got the formers in, I think you can trim them perfectly. I was thinking this as I was pinning that in, you know, the difference between building a model of this scale compared to a model, you know, one of my small models, like this Hurricane. This Hurricane is built exactly the same way as this. Half formers, stringers, and you put the two halves together. Incredible, isn't it, really, when you think about it? It's a nice way of building there. Right, so this piece is going to be too short. So I'm going to put a joint up here, scarf joint. And will it go around that bend? I don't think so. I may have to steam that, or at least make it wet. You can sort of cheat a little bit by, I could go out and steam it, but I can also do a little, let's just get this little bottle of water. I can actually spray it, and that will be enough probably to get it round. So I'll just make it nice and wet there, look. There's some sort of perfume in this. Miracle Hair Insurance Conditioning Spray, Aussie brand. I don't know what if it's, well, it must be in there, I suppose. Blue Mountain Eucalyptus. So whenever I've sprayed, it's full of water, so whenever I spray with this, I get this amazing Blue Mountain Eucalyptus smell, I suppose. This looks like it curves around and then goes into a slight curve here, but that's fine. It's starting to go. I think it'll just ease around there now. Let's just dry that for a second. Okay. Now, I am pinning straight through these because they're plenty big enough to take pins through the width of it. Don't put the pins where the formers go because they're going to be in the way. You'll end up having to reposition them. Put one there. In she goes. If you're going to pin through, then put the pin at an angle. These are going either side, so it won't matter. But if you're going to pin through, put the pin at an angle, otherwise the wood would rise up the pin, but they can't rise up, especially if you oppose the angles. One there. You can always tell a Cliff Harvey built plan because there's pinholes all over it. Okay, I think you should be able to see that from there. Let's just bend you up just in case. So I've got an overlap here of about 1 3/4 inches, 5 centimeters, something like that. And I'm going to get a straight edge. Here's one. And I'm just going to cut through both pieces of wood. And therefore, let's put another pin in there. And therefore, because I've cut through both pieces of wood, the joint is going to be absolutely spot on. I'll tell you, this is maybe overkill a little bit. It's worth having different thickness pins as well. These are my fat ones and medium ones. I've got some thin ones there. Just going to put this pin there through both bits just to make sure they stay exactly over each other. And now I'm going to support that a little bit. It's quite important. It's worth just playing about here just to get it just right. I'm just going to cut through both pieces of wood. It's also a good idea, if you can, to get the scarf joint over where one of the formers goes, which I have here. There we go. So those two will now fit there, spot on, like that. It'll be perfect. Being end grain, I shall soak each. Well, I'll do it now actually. Being end grain, you want to make sure the joint is good, and therefore I'm going to pre-glue them just to fill the grain of the wood. Pretty important to do that. And I'm not in any hurry to put this together, so I'm going to build it with this white glue, Speed Bond. I'm not going to use CA. If I do use CA, it'll be just to support things while I put more Speed Bond in. Now there's enough here off-cut. There's an off-cut there to do the piece at the front. Just bend you down again. I got that little piece there. I think I might keep that length. That looks like it's going to be long enough, so I'm going to cut that off. I think it actually goes to about here, but I'm going to cut that off, say, go the other side of that pin. I think I'll still have enough. Always worth putting in a new blade as well when you start a new job. I'm trying to cut this without going through the plastic. Yeah, so I'll damp this one as well, like I did just now, and it'll go around easily. I'm just scooping it and turning it around just to soak all four sides, you see. Just like that, just like that. Just let that soak. Let's glue this scarf together. That's a chance to soak in. Put that down, join that up. I'm just going to put a pin, tell you what, I'm going to put a pin there. The other side of that, in there, and there, like that. There is a crutch piece that goes in here, but it's removed after the model's constructed. So this part here is removed after the model's constructed, along with that center crutch piece. So that bit just goes from there to there. It just goes from there, and it can butt up to there because it's going to come out again to there like that. Well, there we go, guys. They're all in position and drying nicely. I've still got the last two to cut. Apparently, I thought I'd done them all, but for some reason I've still got to cut those, so I'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, not a bad start. It's looking like a fuselage. Good. Okay, see you tomorrow. Right, okay, so the formers are stuck. I've had to remake a couple of them because once you get them in and realise that maybe the odd slot doesn't line up, the plans aren't drawn out accurately. Okay, so I've joined one long piece that goes all the way down the end. Haven't glued it in yet. I'm thinking I might use a combination of white glue and CA, mainly because I'll put the scarf joint over the former position there, mainly because I can pin it in place on the bits that need it, which are under tension, and it'll save having to sort of weigh it down and everything. So, but I prefer to use white glue if possible. I have to work reasonably fast, I think. Now I'm going to put that right over the joint of the wood, like that. Pin that down, down. There, into there, into there, down there. Oops, oops. Right, I'm going to CA the very end one. That will hold everything down. Where's my CA gone? There it is. Give it a quick blast. Okay. There we go. First one in. The first one is in. Now, I've got this one here. I thought could go on here. That stops just about there. This is 4mm square, this piece, so I've stripped it down out of I will see again when I've stripped it down out of a bit of 4mm balsa. I did see one of these online, not this particular model design, but had a motor in it, and perhaps I should have CA'd some of these. They're not going to stay in place, I don't think. Weight is in order. These are short pieces, just end there. That bit will go in there nicely, I think. Okay, that's all the stringers in, guys. So next step is to put this cross bracing in at the back, which is very interesting actually, because it's got to be basically done by hand. The idea of this cross bracing is to stop the fuselage from twisting when you skin it on the outside, which it will do very well. There we go. The first one has been cut. It's taken a minute to do it. The rest won't take as long because I'll have developed a technique by the time I've put all these cross braces in. But just for the minute, let's just pop this one in. Okay, so that's one cross brace in. Let's just zoom in for you, look. There you go. So there's one cross brace in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, not too many. 4 this side, 4 that side. Zig, zag, zig, zag. So yeah, not too bad actually. So I'm going to get on with those. Can't really put these in. I could put, maybe sneak that one in there underneath that. Sneak one in there perhaps. I think what I'm going to do is to just put it in like that and cut, let's see, cut an angle there, and then cut an angle at the bottom. Yeah, it's not bad. Cut that angle there. What I'm going to do, guys, is the suggestion is that you should make 2 fuselage sides, or turn a piece of paper over, trace the plan onto the other side, and then make the opposite fuselage side. But it's been suggested at the club that, in fact, I don't do that, but I build the other side directly onto this side. Now, as long as I can prop this up so as it can't move, that's a better way of doing it, because then I can make it sure it's absolutely exact with the formers on the opposite sides, etc. So once I've taken it off the board, I'll see how solid it feels and whether I can brace it up, whether that is actually an option. There we go. There's 2 braces in. Doesn't take long actually. I'll let it set off a little bit before I do these, and I can reach across. I think we'll stop there for a minute, guys. I'll let this set off a bit, and then I can get in there and put the other pieces in, blocks and what have you, bits and bobs. And when I'm ready to maybe take it off the board, I'll come back to you and we'll do it together. Cheers, guys.